Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We're pleased to have in the studio with us today our friends from Project Next. Joining us is Lisa Stout. She's the executive director. How you doing, Lisa?
Great. Fantastic.
How long have you been with the organization?
This is going on 6 years.
6 years? Okay.
Yes.
How long has the organization been in business?
Yeah. Well, Project Next has been about 3 years, but the organization transformed from another organization that started in 2014. So,
and what was that organization?
The San Marcos Promise.
Okay, well, very nice, very good.
So
and
we've evolved.
With you is Jaely Cevallos. She is a Project Next ambassador. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very, very good. We're going to get to you in a few seconds. I'm honored to have as my co-host, Shrazy. She just jumped into it in the first interview and just nailed it. And so did you enjoy that first one?
Truly, yes, I really, really did.
Beautiful. You're well on your way to being a podcaster. I think that's great. I think she has a question for you already, Lisa.
Can you tell us what the mission of your organization is?
Yeah, the mission of Project Next is to help high schoolers plan and prepare for a future that's best for them. And we emphasize that's best for them because there's not a one-size-fits-all path to success, and we really believe that. So.
Right, and do you work with a certain group in the county, or is it throughout the whole county?
We actually partner with high schools and school districts. So we operate within high school campuses, and we're in 5 right now.
Are there 5 high school campuses, and which districts are you in?
Yeah, we're in North San Diego County. We're in San Marcos Unified School District. So we have 3 high schools there. And we just expanded this year into Escondido Union High School District. So we have Escondido High School and Escondido Charter High School.
Yeah, it's great. We just had on our Future Pathways show Andy Johnson, who is the superintendent at San Marcos Unified. Just a great guy. And he might have even been shouting out Project Next yesterday. I can't remember if that's true or not. So let me ask you this, Lisa. How did you get involved in education? Have you always been passionate about education?
Yeah, well, my high school counselor changed my life. And so I became a high school counselor, and that's where I spent the first 20 years of my career. Mm-hmm. I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing now. That wasn't my plan. It just sort of happened because of the huge need that I saw being a school counselor, and the caseload that we have is usually 400 to 500 students to one counselor, and
that's right.
Can't do it all. So it's kind of evolved from that. But I became a counselor because I saw how much an educator can change a student's life, and became that person. And now we're doing it on a larger scale through our organization.
So how did your counselor change your life? In what way?
I came from a low-income single family parent, household. I had no real guidance, no resources, support, and my counselor really just showed me the way, what was possible. And I wouldn't be here without her guidance. And
now, was that here in San Diego County, or was it somewhere else?
It was actually in Lake Elsinore, so not too far away. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Minor league baseball team plays up there.
I worked there. I worked the first year at the Storm.
You did?
Yes, I sure did.
And what was your role?
Retail.
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I worked in one of the retail stores. It was a fun experience.
Right. Yeah. So, Jaely, talk about your experience as a Project Next ambassador. What do you do?
When I go to the events, they have a bunch of networking events there at the school. Usually they're outside of school hours, and you go and you meet professionals. And that's actually, I have my first paid internship in. I'm an admin for a software company. Well, I'm in.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, what company?
It's Scale Capacity.
Okay, and so you are going to be doing what work for them? Is it on the marketing side? Is it on the
actually, because I actually met her at one of the networking events. She knows that I'm still kind of figuring out what is it I want to do.
Right.
And she has me kind of all over the place. So I can be in a marketing department one day, or with HR, or just helping her with her tasks.
So, what did you learn most about being involved with Project Next? This is really what stuck me and struck with me.
I would definitely say the importance of like networking and like having good impressions, and because it's not enough to just do the hard work, because you have to connect with other people. You have to get to know what else is out there, because as like a high school student, a Google search can only get you so far as to what someone does in their career. At the networking events, you could really go ahead and ask like, hey, can you walk me what your day-to-day life looks like? What would a day in your office be like?
So how good of a networker are you? Are you a good networker? Well, on a scale of 0 to 10, what would you give yourself?
I'd give myself like a 9.
Congratulations. That's wonderful, because you're sitting with the Hall of Famer of networking. That's right to your left. Brandon Joe is a junior at UC San Diego. He's the associate producer of the Spotlight show. We have never, when I say we, Charles Parisi, my business partner, and I have ever met someone even close to his age as being such a great networker. The guy just oozes network out of him. So, you know what? I think, maybe there's some things you can learn from Brandon. Maybe some things Brandon can learn from you. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
Right. So, when you see this, Lisa, obviously, my goodness, eyeballs, you must be just so thrilled. Here's Jaely that's talking about all this. How much do you emphasize networking on Project Next?
We actually call it next working.
Okay. Thank you very much. And you sound like my buddy Charles Parisi, always having a different twist on a word. Very good.
That's right. So it's next working. It's all about people and possibilities. And I think about my experience, and I was never taught a lot of these things coming out of high school or even in college. And quite frankly, a lot of our students aren't going to choose that path. And so we feel like they deserve to learn these life skills before they leave high school. And it's just so important to provide them the exposure. And that's actually what our students have loved most, is just meeting professionals from any industry, any field. And just seeing, we talk about the 3 C's. Our 3 C's are clarity, confidence, and connections. And everything we do centers around those 3 things. And to see their faces light up when they get back on the bus after we do a next working event. In fact, we're going to be at GAFCON right next door again in a couple weeks. We were there. They're one of our fantastic partners. But when the students get off the bus, they're so nervous. Most of them have never done anything like this before. We have a career closet in all of our future centers, so the students have access to an outfit, a professional outfit. If they don't have one at home, they can keep with them for events. But seeing their faces when they get off the bus and then when they get back on the bus, it's so awesome. So
So let me ask you this: as you said, raised in a single parent family home, and loved your counselor because your counselor, gave you some ideas. Were you a good networker when you were young?
No way. I was so shy.
Correct.
I don't even know if I would have done. No, they have so much courage to even say yes to these opportunities. I'm not sure I would. I was very shy.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. And that's what it does, is that when and Jaely, were you shy before Project Next or not? You were always sort of out there chatting with folks, or that's new?
I was definitely shy. A lot of these are like a first for me. Every time Lisa asks me like, hey, do you want to come with me and do this or speak at this event? And I just say, you know what? Yes. I'm really nervous before, and then I just go with the flow. And it really has helped me like step out of my comfort zone and really like gain like these skills of talking to people and like socializing with people of all ages and all careers.
Well, you're very poised, I'll tell you that right now. Sounds like you've been a podcaster your whole life. I think that's great. We're chatting with our friends from Project Next, Lisa Stout. She's the executive director, joined by Project Next ambassador Jaely Cevallos. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year, brought to you by a mission-fed credit union, 6 decades. It's doing great things in San Diego County. Honored to have as my co-host, Shrazy, who's been doing a terrific job. Shrazy, you got another question for Lisa?
Yes. How are Project Next future centers transforming post-secondary planning in local high schools?
Our future centers are amazing. I will say, from just the whole concept of a future center, they're physical spaces that are located on high school campuses. So when we start with a partnership in a district or a school site, they give us a space on campus that we will operate out of. And these future centers are brought to life by the students. So they're actually designed by students on campus with the help of one of our volunteers from Qualcomm and Cultura. And it's like a mini internship. So they're tasked with coming up with this space that is welcoming and looks nothing like the rest of the campus so that we can draw in their peers. So we've got a lot of technology in there, lots of charging stations. So what's going to draw them in? Once they're there, we staff a full-time career coach. So we have people there that can help students. We have a huge menu of services. It can be anything from, I have no idea what I want to do, to I need a job, or can you help me with a resume? Because I've never had a job and I don't know how to make a resume, or I have an interview. So many opportunities just to help these students see what's possible. We also have a full-time financial aid coach who rotates through our future centers. So this model is so unique and it works so well because we are embedded within the high schools. We're not there just one day a week or an hour. We are there full-time. Our career coaches are part of that school community. They're out at lunch, out in classrooms, at PEP assemblies. And so they develop a really strong rapport with the students, the staff, the parents, and it works. So,
one of the things that I always tell young folks like Shreezy, Jaely, and all that business, didn't have to tell Brandon this; he had it in his DNA already. Is that people love to chat with young folks about careers and what they're interested in. And a lot of young folks don't think so. Well, they're not interested. I said the exact opposite. In about 5 seconds, you don't think you could talk to this CEO about X? They'd love to talk to you at whatever level. Yes. Talk about how important that is. And that's such a misnomer that some of the people that are high up on the totem poles in businesses don't want to talk to the young folks. It's the exact opposite.
It is so the exact opposite. We're all people, right? We're all people. We were all, if believe it or not, high school students ourselves at one point.
I think I was.
I think. I've been so blown away by how many people want to be part of this mission to support students. And, either because they didn't have that themselves or because they did and they saw how much it helped and they want to give back. And so from every industry, and we love that. And so it's been so eye-opening. I never had time to do this when I was a counselor because I couldn't get out of my office.
Right.
But we always say we're the bridge between education and community and the professional leaders in the community to help support student futures. And people come out of the woodwork to help. It's just a matter of asking.
We come back from break and want to talk about, the important thing that I always recommend to folks, and when they might meet with me and I'll give them some ideas and here's some folks you should talk to. I said, but listen, follow up with me. I mean, I'm not lonely, but if you want to do, I can continue to connect to you. And the amount of people that don't do that. And listen, there are opportunities. When somebody offers you, here's a door to open, here's another person to talk to. Take advantage of. Maybe you can chat about how you can teach folks to do that as well. We also definitely want to talk more about your partners and all that. And I know Shreezy has some questions for you, certainly on how you sit there and engage in what do you need from the listeners to help support your efforts. When we return with our friends from Project Next, Lisa Stout, she's the executive director, joined by Project Next ambassador Jaely Cevallos. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing spectacular things for people living in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are in our 19th year. We're the nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing just so many great things in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's art, whether it's financial literacy, and everything in between. They have just been doing phenomenal work. With us, joined by our friends in Project Next. Lisa Stout is the executive director, joined by Jaely Cevallos, the Project Next ambassador. Okay, do you have another question, Shrezy?
Yes, Lisa and Jaely, I know you mentioned earlier about how you got a lot of experience networking through this, and I just wanted to understand what the power of these partnerships you create through networking helps in the success of students.
I'll just start. We have had so many professionals, like I said, just come out of the woodwork to support our mission, right? To help these students. There's so many different ways to get engaged. We have companies, like I mentioned, GAFCON's hosting a next working event for us at their site. So we will bus students there. Their professionals stay. And we actually bring some of our partners as well. So they're getting to network with people from all different industry. We've done that with Chase Bank, with SDG&E. We have people come to our future centers. So there's lots of opportunities to engage and interact. And I think that exposure is just so needed by students. So a lot of them come in thinking they have an idea of what they want to do, and then they leave and they're thinking, which is great. That's what we want them to do. And some come in with no idea, and then they have some things to start thinking about. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Jaely.
As like a high school student, I remember not knowing exactly. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know what that looked like. It seemed interesting to me, but it wasn't until I was talking to professionals that they would give me advice of what path they went to, and I would consider that. I was like, maybe this is a path I could take. And then I would actually have options instead of just going through a Google search or whatever I can find online. I could actually talk to these people, and it was really interesting seeing how much they really cared. Like as you mentioned earlier, like they really do give that advice to young people, and we all should be here to take it as students. You know, a lot of times, like you said, they don't think people care, but they really do care. Like we're all human, and it's really nice being able to make that connection with so many others and being guided by all these professionals that have years of experience.
Right, but see, Jaely, what you did, you took it to the next step. You didn't stop just getting that advice. You're going to continue to seek. You're going to continue to ask, and then there's a follow-up to it. And we were talking right before break, Lisa, is that I think, sometimes it's good for the students to get started, and then all of a sudden they stop. And how do you get them to say, don't stop?
Yeah, that's a good question. Our career coaches are amazing. Every single one of them. And I always say students vote with their feet. And so when I walk in the future centers and they're packed and our events are packed, that tells me something. And our career coaches do such a great job preparing these students before an event. So from how they're dressed to how to make a handshake, looking somebody in the eye, how to politely exit a conversation, and all of those things that, how are you going to know unless you learn, right?
Exactly.
But the follow-up is so important to your point. I'll give an example. We have an event called Connect to Careers where it's coming up in May, and we're going to have over 30 companies there, about 150 professionals, 150 students. After the professionals leave, the students stay back, and we talk to them about the importance of follow-up and writing a handwritten thank you note, and how far that goes. That's not a lost art on us. Our kids know that. They know how to address an envelope, and we get a lot of feedback from people just like, wow, a student actually wrote me a handwritten thank you note. How to write a professional email back, whether it's a job interview that you did or thanking somebody for the advice they gave them at an event. We want our students to shine, and those little things are going to make them shine throughout life. And so they're just little things, but they're things that you don't know unless someone teaches you, and we teach those.
Well, and I think to the point you made on all of these, those things used to be, if normal is the right word, but something that you always did back a billion years ago when I was younger. I'm 105 years older than all of you here. But the point being, that just used to be the normal mode of operation. It doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. So when someone does something as simple as a thank you note, especially if it's handwritten, I've seen one of those in the last 2 decades, you just stand out. And I think what's important about it, Shrazy, as you start, doing all the great stuff you're doing, you're already doing it right now. And of course, Jaely's is right in the midst of it, is it's all about relationships. And it's about, I'm going to remember Jaely. I'm going to remember Jaely because she took the time to write me a thank you note, or she followed up with a quick phone call, or even a simple text. Hey, I really enjoyed the interview. Let me know what I can do to help you. Are you kidding me? Now that person is in the Rolodex of that person. Lisa, talk how important it is. It's all about relationships.
It is all about relationships, and we, to your point, when we're at next working events or any event, we tell students, ask for a business card. Take that business card back. Handwrite that thank you. But our career coaches also work with them on creating a LinkedIn profile and the importance of that, and then following up with the professionals even that way and getting on LinkedIn and what that is. So all of the follow-up pieces that are so important, and again, the little things that add up and that are going to make our kids, our students, our young people stand out, and they do.
And they do. And they're not forgotten. Shrazy?
You've been mentioning a lot about how you emphasize the tiny things like writing the handwritten thank you note back, or learning how to professionally communicate with emails or even in person. How do you integrate it in the high school system? Like, how do you get it to high schoolers? Is it like a specific class you have, or do they come on their own time?
That's a good question. So by being embedded in the high schools through our future centers, it's such a unique, like I said, model and partnership, because we have access to do classroom presentations. We're there all day. Students can come in. So we do have drop-in appointments, but we host what we call skill shops a lot. Lunchtime, after school. So for instance, we have an event coming up, a first-time job fair. So with San Diego Workforce Partnership and the San Diego North County EDC. And so our career coaches are hosting little mini skill shops on how do you create a resume if you've never had a, quote, real job. You have skills to write down on a resume. You just maybe don't think that you do. Have you babysat? And all of those things.
100%.
You have skills that are transferable. So how to dress professionally. They host little mini skill shops throughout, lunchtime, after school, often, so that we're meeting students where they're at, which is another reason being on the high school campus is so important. They don't have to come to us. We're there. So we infuse it in all ways. TV news, like classroom, lunchtime, every which way we can. And our ambassadors are huge in helping us that, because our ambassadors have been part of Project Next. They've been to an event or have had some experience that has made them want to be a part of what we're doing and get their peers involved. And so they're really good with helping us get the word out through Reels or TikTok or, however we can meet the students, we try to do that. So every avenue possible.
Right, I'm going to start with you on this, Jaely, and then pivot over to Lisa. So our listeners who've been listening for a long time now, 19 years, are very benevolent. They like to support, whether they're supporting by volunteering or making contributions or whatever the case may be. What can they do to support your efforts as a Project Next ambassador?
Honestly, like it could be in any which way. It just being, like Lisa has mentioned, a lot of these professionals that we meet are, a lot of times they're volunteers, and then where the students get access to more and more types of careers, and then they have more options that they could explore different paths they didn't know like they needed.
Yeah, Lisa, what can we do for you?
We always talk about time, talent, and treasure, right? So there's many opportunities to volunteer, to get involved with students. We're always looking for new partners and supporters to help us fund our future centers so that we can continue doing this and expanding to other high schools. Every high school deserves a future center. These schools are so under-resourced and there's such need. So we would love any new partnerships or opportunities in that way. So there's lots of ways to get involved with Project Next.
What's the website?
projectnext.org.
Promise me this will not be the last time that you're on the show. We cannot shout this stuff out enough, and would love to have you come back on with another ambassador or an ambassador or two, whatever the case may be. Anything we can do to elevate this, because as your high school counselor did with you, obviously you're still talking about your high school counselor, that same thing Jaely's going to be talking about you, Lisa, and then they're going to be talking about Jaely when she's doing other stuff that's supporting people at her next job. And that's how this stuff works. And we know it works that way. And especially in San Diego County, which is absolutely the smallest big town in the history of humankind, 8th largest city in the country, but everyone seems to know everybody here. And so that really helps as well. Lisa Stout, thank you so much for joining us as well. We'll look forward to having you make a return appearance. And Jaely Cevallos, we know one of our favorite phrases we like to say is that we knew you when. So we know you're going to be very successful down the road. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you.
And Shrazy, another fine job. What do you think? You're now 2 of these under your belt, huh?
Yes, for sure. And I'd also like to add, as a high school student myself, I know what it feels like not to be able to get enough experience to figure out what I want to do. So it's like kind of lost guidance if that makes sense. So really appreciate what you're doing, and it has a profound impact on people like us to have that even minimal guidance to be able to figure out what we want to do and then help others down the line. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So another great show with our friends from Project Next. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.